Brandon Tatum interviewed one of the people that was on the boat, Warren Hudson. His father has since put up $50,000 for anybody that has any information that will help somebody if that somebody is connected to any foul play. Any information concerning that, they are going to give them $50,000. So now, let me say 50 plus 125 plus $5,000 from Funky Dineva. Hold up. 125. That's Tyler Perry, Al Sharpton, and Terrell Owens, plus $5,000 from Funky Dineva, plus $50,000 from Warren Hudson. That's $180,000. Now, I'm not sure if the black money gonna mix with the white money. I'm not sure. That's a sticky situation. I'm not sure if we gonna do this all together. I don't know if they gonna get on the phone and say, hey, y'all, we got all the money. Everybody got all their jingle bingle. We gonna go ahead and give this person that gave us this lead this money. I don't know. We'll see when the time comes. If this is even a thing. If this is even the route that this goes down. You know what I'm saying? But Brandon Tatum did an interview with Warren Hudson. It's on his page. In his playlist, What Happened to Nolan Wells.
Is there anything that stands out about the autopsy produced by the state that we know of, or at least the preliminary findings of that?
I have some questions. So let me just show you. I took some notes. We're not gonna go through it completely. But this is part one. Right?
So Warren, I'm gonna ask you some very pointed questions.
So part one of the it's four parts. So part one, it was clipped somewhere in part one, about 4 minutes and 12 seconds. It was clipped in the middle of his answering. That was questionable. I wanted to know what was taken out. I wanted to know why was that clipped. It wasn't seamless. Warren said 20 to 30 people were there. I need an attendance list. I also want to know who brought the alcohol, right? They all met at the dock. There was a 22 Triton, according to Warren. There was a 24 Tidal, according to Warren. And there was a Palm Beach 18. Bart and Warren and some girls were on the Tidal. Nolan and Wyatt was on the Triton. Trace was there. Javon was there. James was there. Warren said 8 people were on the Triton. 10 to 16 people were on the Tidal. And 4 guys was on the Palm Beach. I need an attendance list. And have all these people made their statements to police. They said they pulled up to Horn Island at 10 a.m. This is according to Warren. Warren said at 13 minutes and 22 seconds of this interview, everybody was drinking. At 14 minutes and 44 seconds, Nolan was drinking. They parked the boats, the Triton, the Palm Beach was in the middle, and the Tydale was on the other side. At 15 minutes and 15 seconds, Brandon Tatum asked Warren a question. He said something he said to you that would be indicative of y'all's friendship, and something to you about that particular day and what it meant to Warren. Officer Brandon Tatum is obviously had talked to Warren before this interview, and so he's trying to pull out information from Warren this whole interview that he had been privy to, so he's assisting Warren in this interview. Right? So he said, you told me something that Warren that Nolan said to you, and I think that's indicative of your friendship, and I want and Nolan said to you something about what that day meant to him. Warren was not able to answer the question. I found that very interesting. The answer he gave, that wasn't even an answer. 15 minutes and 15 seconds. At the end of the interview, part 1, around 4 minutes and 30 seconds. No. 4:30 p.m., they left. Part 2 of the interview, all the links will be below.
Some of the boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on.
If I'm sitting
This is part 1. Hold on, that's part 2. This is part 2 right here.
waist deep in water,
This is part 2. They went to Horn Island. Brandon Tatum flew from wherever he is from to Mississippi. Hey, Mo, what's up, baby? He flew to Mississippi, and they went to Horn Island. At 11 minutes and 22 seconds, it was clipped. I'm going to show y'all. When I mean clips, I mean in the middle of talking, there's a jump. Let me show y'all what I mean. Just really quick, because that's all I have for this. 1 minute and 22. Look very carefully.
sit, which is the, by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So, obviously, we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't.
Did you see that?
Transom, which is where your motors sit, and which is the, by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So, obviously, we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't.
I want to know what the full and raw footage of that looks like, and what information we can gather from the raw clip that was unedited. So that was part 1 and part 2. I will come back with part 3 and part 4 shortly. All right, part 3 of Warren's interview with Brandon Tatum.
All right, so I want to be clear with this one thing, because I know
right.
you mentioned before.
Part 3 at 1:30. This is a timestamp. Wyatt's brother got in a fight on Horn Island. I want to know who did Wyatt fight. Wyatt's brother. I want to know who did Wyatt's brother fight on Horn Island. And Warren said that Nolan wasn't involved. Warren said that he last saw Nolan with Katie at 3 p.m. on Horn Island. Warren said that the Triton was filled up with 6 inches of water to the transom on the boat of the Triton. At 3 minutes and 35 seconds, it was clipped. At 4 minutes and 18 seconds, it was clipped. Meaning there was information seemingly redacted from the interview. The Palm Beach, the other boat left first. The Triton is the one that was with the 6 inches. So I am assuming that the Tidal that belonged to Bert was the one that was towing the Triton. I'm not sure. So I want to know what happened to the Tidal. I would love to know that. And Warren said that Wyatt texted Javon. Did Nolan ride in with y'all? And that was at 15 minutes and 22 seconds of the interview. I want to know, did Javon get that text? And did that text exchange actually happen? Or are we lying? Later on in the interview, it says Javon gives Wyatt Nolan's mother's number. No, not Wyatt. It says Javon gives Warren Nolan's mother's number. He calls Miss Christine. He tells Miss Christine that he's going to call the Coast Guard. Warren said that he was on the phone with the Coast Guard for 20 minutes. At that time, he also told Miss Christine that Wyatt had Nolan's phone, and it was in his truck along with other phones that were still on the boat. This was interesting to me because if you're calling the mother for the first time, why did we jump all the way to calling the Coast Guard? Did you know something happened? Or are you trying to be the friend of the year? Warren said that, I'm guessing this is the next day, he woke up at 7:30 a.m. He went out looking for Nolan because Nolan hadn't been there on the night of the 4th. Wyatt his mom, his stepdad, Ricky, Brooks, and Jax, along with Warren, went out to Horn Island. I'm not sure if Wyatt was there. July 5th, around 1 o'clock, Warren said he was with Brooks. And broke down on Brooks' shoulder when he heard of the news that Nolan's body was found. I want to know if that was true and if Brooks can corroborate what Warren said. July 7th, Warren said he talked to the police and the lead investigator, and everybody talked to police, and everybody was cooperating with the investigation. Part 4.
I didn't come down here, do anything other but to get the truth. Did you kill Nolan?
That's funny that came up because watching this interview, you did have a motive and a narrative to defend what people have been speculating. This interview was very led. Very assisted. As an interviewer myself, I can tell that this was a very led interview. He helped Warren out a lot in this interview. So I would be interested in knowing the information that Brandon Tatum knows before the interview. so that he could craft and ask the questions from what he knew. And I would be interested in knowing what he left out. July 7th. Oh, no. What is this, part 4? What are we talking about? We're on part 4. Part 4. On the night of the 4th of July at 12:30, around 12:30 or so, a girl and 8 guys behind him walked in the house of Warren's friend, and Javon's mom was there. Somebody in that posse of the people that walked in the house spoke with Warren outside of the house at 4 minutes and 13 seconds in the interview. I want to know who that person was and if that conversation actually happened. At 6 minutes and 54 seconds, he told Miss Chris. Oh no, I already said that he told Miss Christine the first time that he had Warren's phone. So they eventually gave Nolan's phone to Javon's mom that came and got the phone. I don't know what day this is, but I'm guessing that this is, I don't know what day this is, but Brooks had drove Wyatt home, and they got a text from Nolan's dad they got a text from Warren's dad that he was at Brooks' house to pick up Nolan's keys. Warren wasn't there, he said. So I would like to know who this Brooks character is and what happened at the house when the dad came and got the phone. I want to see ring footage camera if at all possible. And then Tatum said, a lot of things, a lot of leading questions in this interview. It's interesting that this interview actually happens, and then the father came out and saying that he was going to award $50,000 to anybody that had anything to assist the investigation. And what happened to Nolan Wells. Warren then said at the end of the 4th interview that he talked to somebody that saw Nolan at 6:00 p.m. on the 4th of July. I want to know who that person is. If you guys are at all interested in the 4-part interview, the link will be in the description of this video on YouTube. That is my full synopsis of part 1, 2, and 3 as this investigation is ongoing.